Hey everybody, it's me, Julia Child. Just kidding, it's me, Stu Helm, but I do have a recipe for you. This is a rare thing where I'm going to share one of my own recipes. I do this on occasion, and my recipes can tend to be a little bit ridiculous. So bear with me because it's going to sound crazy, but it was totally delicious. And I am talking about something I invented last weekend that I call cheeseburger panzanella. And if you're not familiar with the term panzanella, it's an Italian word, and it basically means bread salad. It's a way to use your stale bread. Um, I love this expression, the cucina povera, the kitchen of the poor. This is the way you make delicious food by trying not to waste food. And the expression refers to a certain time and period in Italian history, that time and place, and the culinary stuff that came out of it. I shouldn't even pretend to be an expert because I'm not. I just know a very little bit about it, but I do like that expression, and I do like all the food that comes out of it. And that expression can certainly be applied to Appalachian cooking as well, where a lot of things like fried green tomatoes and stuff like that come from necessity, and even things that as common as chow chow come from just the way not to waste any bits and pieces of vegetable matter and stuff. So anyhow, I am a proponent of that philosophy, and I recently had a wonderful loaf of Annie's Italian bread. And Annie's is a local bakery, really good bread, some of my favorite bread around town. I've been trying to get out to visit the factory for a long time, but it is difficult for me to get outside of my immediate area just because I don't drive, as I mention often. And so I had this wonderful loaf of bread, and I had been cutting it up to use as the bread in cheeseburgers. I bought a pound of Hickory Nut Gap Farm meat, and that's a local meat farm, and I was cooking that up at home, making cheeseburgers with American cheese. I love American cheese, and guess what? The quote unquote deluxe American cheese, and that's what it says on the label, the deluxe American cheese from our local grocery store chain, Ingles, the Laura Lynn brand of deluxe American cheese, is delicious, made out of real milk. Don't be afraid. It's not synthetic or fake. You could argue it's not cheese because it's not technically made with the same process, but it is dairy and it is delicious. And so don't be afraid of the Ingles brand deluxe cheese. And so I'm making cheeseburgers, but I had kind of effed up a little bit with the way I was cutting the bread. And I ended up with a lot of like bread that couldn't really be used to make a sandwich. It was like just kind of crumbled into large pieces and stuff, like just pieces, no longer slices. And so I had, in my disappointment in my own bread cutting skills, I had sort of just left it out overnight. I just didn't care anymore, and I left it out. And so the next day, I had these pieces of stale bread, and that is from whence panzanella was born. You have leftover stale bread, you don't want to waste it, you got some olive oil and some other stuff and some vegetables, some fresh vegetables, and you mix it all together and it's delicious. Look it up online. Again, I'm not an expert necessarily on these things. I just hear about them, know about them, and in a lot of cases I've eaten them. And in the case of panzanella, I have certainly eaten plenty of that and I really enjoy it. So I decided to make, with the rest of my ground beef and American cheese and this stale hunks of bread, I decided to make a cheeseburger panzanella. So the first thing I did was I took some butter and I put it in a frying pan. And then I got that all melty. And then I added some crumbled up burger to it. Yes, I did cook burger in butter. The butter needs to be there, though, to keep burger crumbles from sticking to the pan immediately. And also, the bread needs a lot of juice to soak up. So a little bit of butter, some crumbled up ground beef, and then brown that up in the saucepan for a while. And then pretty right away, not wait a minute, but then add the bread. You might need to break it up into smaller pieces, but add that and start stirring it. Keep it constantly moving around, stir it, stir it, stir it. You don't want the bread to stick to the bottom of the pan. That will happen a little bit. And but then like get that to the point where it's almost done, like just the way you want it cooked in terms of how you want your ground beef cooked. I don't know if there are people who want it rare, medium rare, well done, whatever. I just cook it till it looks done. And then at that point, put some American cheese in the pan and keep stirring it. Like stir it up, get that American cheese melted and mixed in with the rest of the ground beef and the bread. And once it's all melted and you can hardly see it, just that it's all melted in there, then turn off the heat, put it on in a bowl, consume. That's how I did it. Here's how I'll do it next time, though. Next time I will have, I didn't have anything green in the house or anything crunchy or fresh. Like that's my bad. I don't usually keep freshies around the house. And I didn't have anything. But next time I make myself a cheeseburger panzanella, and there will be a next time because it was so delicious. Oh, I left out a crucial ingredient. Oh my gosh. And this is the part that freaked everybody out online. Well, like you add the butter, the beef, the bread, and then while it's cooking, add some yellow mustard. Like just straight up, squirt it right in the pan. I know it's hot mustard. That's weird, but that's what I'm recommending. And then after you put it in your bowl, you're done cooking it. The cheese is all melted in there. After you put it in your bowl, then squeeze a little bit of ketchup on top. You don't want to cook the ketchup necessarily, but the mustard, I recommend you put in the pan with the saute. So I left that crucial part out. Sorry about that. And but next time I will definitely have some green stuff because it would have been so good with some chopped up lettuce, especially, sorry world, I do like iceberg lettuce, but that would have been so perfect in there. And also maybe some chopped up tomato or just some halved or quartered cherry tomatoes or something like that. So there you go. That's my recipe for cheeseburger panzanella. And I really recommend it. Like it sounds stupid and ridiculous. Why not make a cheeseburger? But it's just a different way to eat a cheeseburger. And if you do have stale bread and ground beef and the other ingredients, it's a way to use your stale bread, which is why I made it. All right, folks, that's my recipe. This is Stu Helm. I'll talk to you in just a little while.